We're talking about finances and profit, and I know part of you guys want to just glaze over. And I really want to tell you, don't do it, because you're gonna be in the situation I was in. And it was not fun. It was very depressing. I did not smile, I did not cook. It just was not a good place for me, and I really don't want you to be there. And if you're thinking like I did, then you will literally be on the pathway there, okay? Does anyone use QuickBooks for their business, or a version of QuickBooks, FreshBooks, QuickBooks, some kind of bookkeeping? Does anyone not have like any kind of bookkeeping? Like, here's my, dear Jesus, please tell me that's not true. No, oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna go bookkeeping 101 here. All right, you better listen up then, all right? I wanted to share my numbers a little bit because when I was in your shoes and when I was learning this and when I was trying to grow, nobody did this. Everyone talked all this. They're like, you know, I have a $1 million business, and then you find out they're doing $50,000 of profit a year. It's like, well, cool. Like, so I want you to understand and gauge how much you should listen to me, and I want you to understand and gauge like the realities of some of this. So 2019, we did $250,000 in sales. It was a 40% profit. 2020, $500K, 30% profit. 2021, 1.2 with 19% profit. 2022, 2.2, 17% profit. 2023, we did not grow as much, 17% profit at 2.6. We have a goal about 3.4, 3.5 with about 17% profit. This was all while paying myself $120,000 to $180,000 salary on the expense line, okay? And doing agency stuff is freaking hard. But we're gonna get into something here, and it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. And this right here could have been a lot more, okay? And we'll share that story. So where we're gonna go today, I'm gonna share with you what not to do, give you the cheat sheet of what not to do. I'm gonna give you some financial wisdom that I learned over the last year and a half. And this is like, not like, run your business well, have profit. This is like practical CEO wisdom on what to do, what to implement in your business to save your freaking profit. Because Chris said this yesterday, I don't know if Chris is still here anymore. It will, it's a fugazi, it'll run away so quickly, especially as you start adding more people. More people want to spend more money, they want to hire more people, they want to do more things. And it's easy to be like, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, that makes sense, yeah, that makes sense. And the next thing you know, it's gone, okay? I'm gonna share with you what got implemented. What did we actually do to fix our financial conundrum and problems? And then I'm gonna give a P&L insight of what our P&L looked like last month. And again, I'm doing this because I have this vendetta of everybody else who, you know, talked and talked, but they wouldn't open up their QuickBooks, they wouldn't show me how it's done. And then I had one guy, his name's Chris Dreyer, who was awesome, Rankings.io if you ever know of him. Super brilliant man. And he like took one screenshot of his phone to show me his P&L, and it was like, oh, like I just got more insight and I could take another step. So hopefully there's something you pull from here. People lost jobs. And I want to say this to go, some of you guys don't have employees, and that's okay. Some of you guys do have employees who also have families. Like, this is so serious, not just for you and your business, but for the people that are working for you, that are sacrificing, taking the risk to work for you, to know what's going on in your finances. People lost jobs. I remember the day I let 4 people go. Funny is 4 people that we also just hired right before. Could have saved that. But we let 4 people go. One day before they had a new kid. Sucks. I don't remember that. That doesn't haunt me at night. All right, people lost jobs. And that's on me. It's on you guys to know your business, to run your business well, to know your finances. Because there's a lot at stake here. Okay? You ready? I figured out I needed a revamp. Clearly, needed something. Needed a revamp on how I do finances. So not only for me, for the company, for my team, for their families, I had to go down this stuff. So I was doing this and I was realizing, oh my gosh, there's so much I've learned. So what I want to get into is this is where kind of like pen and paper comes out, okay? I want to give some financial wisdom on things I learned. Things that are not going to be like, here's how I go and implement tactically right now. We'll get to that in a second. But things that are like shaping how you make decisions, putting a box around what you do, okay? The financial wisdom that you wish I had, or I wish I had a while ago. So I'm going to give you some of that. There is a lot of things we did, a lot of implementation, a lot of wisdom I learned, small to big, so I'm going to share the most impactful things, okay? But let's start with the wisdom here. The warning here is not everything that we go through between the wisdom and what I did, not everything needs to be executed. You guys have your problems. You have what is your bottleneck. You have what is most important for you. Don't copy and paste what is done in my thing, but take the wisdom, take the information so you can store it in your pocket or go, you know what? That one thing we need to start right now. Okay? Not everything needs to be executed. Figure out your bottlenecks, start there. Here's some financial wisdoms. You ready? Okay? Get your pens and paper out. Here's what was happening before. Profit was a very much afterthought. It was I always cared about profit, but it was a kind of like, when everything closes, let's see what happens. It was an afterthought. Now, it's our primary focus. I'm planning for it. I'm forecasting for it. I know I should have roughly XYZ amount of profit in this next month. If not, we've got some better financial accuracy we need to have. Profit was an afterthought, okay? Don't make profit an afterthought. Plan for it. That just may be mentally you do it. That may be you create a spreadsheet to do it. But it needs to be on the forefront. If you want to make an impact, you want to go do missionary work, you want to start another company, you want to take your family on vacation, you want to hire more people, like whatever it is, it needs to be done with profit. You want to give to an organization, you cannot make an impact without profit. Financial wisdom. What happened from that? We did an expense forecasting sheet, tangible breakdown of P&L expenses. We'll go through that in a second. All right, here's another one. MRR, since most of us are MRR, I know I'm yelling, but I love this stuff. MRR is not about gross sales. I learned this the hard way. It's about profitable sales. And we'll go into it, but I would argue a lot of us don't know what profitable sales is in our stuff. It's profitable sales. That's how we build the business. That's how we structure everything. That's how we're going to pay out commissions. Spending, hiring. We need to know our cost of goods sold clarity, okay? MRR is not about your gross sales. It's about your profitable sales. That's what we care about. Things I learned. What does this look like when it's not going well? You know what, John? For you, dude, we're connecting $1,500 a month for you. Okay, man? Like, it's only $500 off. And what are you thinking? It's only $500 off. You might have just given away 50% of your profit right there. But it's only $500 off $2,000, but it could have been 50% of your profit. Okay? I know you're like, Travis, this is pretty basic stuff. I know it is. That's the sad part. Okay? But life goes on, you make decisions, you start going, you forget this stuff. All right, you must fight. Chris said this. You must fight for your profit or it'll go away so very, very quickly. Your employees want to spend money. You want to spend your money. You got to buy this new software. You got to do this new thing, this new thing. It will go away so freaking quick. It'll be like you had an $85,000 month and then a negative $1,000 month. Not from previous experience, but you got to fight for that profit. Another financial wisdom I learned. QuickBooks is not a forecasting tool. QuickBooks is awesome. Love QuickBooks. It's amazing. Easy bookkeeping, fantastic. It is not your forecasting tool. It is not your profit planning tool. Okay? It's there to help you make decisions. The other thing I learned, pay yourself out. So book, Simple Numbers 2.0. Brad, I think you read it. You went through that whole thing. You got to pay yourself out. You really do. Whether it's $500 a month or $5,000 a month, have something in there because you need to start building sooner than later the right business model, the machine. And if you build this machine and you start hiring people and buying this software, next thing you know, there is no money for you. And you know what's way not fun? Building a business not making money. Okay? Gross sales is just a small part of the picture. It's all fun and freaking games to say, we did $2 million in sales, but it is just a small part of the picture. There's a lot underneath that. COGS, labor, profit, like that's the stuff that start making an impact. You will forget what expenses are coming up. So I should have said freaking forecast it. Freaking forecast it. You will forget that you said yes to that. You'll forget that you signed up for that thing a year ago that you actually need and it's going to charge you $400 this month. Or that HubSpot CRM that, is going to be like, oh yeah, that's November. How much is that again? 29,000? Oh, okay. Like you'll forget this stuff, so plan for it. Financial wisdom, get the financial data you need today to make decisions. There is a lot of talk about data, and I love tracking data. Yeah, what you track or what you measure gets managed, what you measure can get improved. Don't get caught in measuring everything. What can happen? You can do exactly what I did, and you've got a scorecard here, and a scorecard here, and a scorecard here. Ask yourself, why are we tracking that? What decision am I going to make because I know this information? And if you don't need it, at our stage in our businesses, don't track it. Track it when you need it. I've gone 5 years without tracking my retention, okay? Now I need to track it because I freaking need it. I didn't track it for 5 years. So data needs to be tracked if you're going to make an impactful or making decisions on it. Don't just track your average revenue per client if you're not going to make any decisions on that, or it's not going to give you insight on something. Don't track it. It's a waste of time. Data to be tracked that you can take decisions. The other financial wisdom here, 2 hats. You are an owner, you're a CEO. Very hard to take off and on these hats. Really hard, especially for me. CEO, you are paid for your salary, for your daily work in the business. But the owner owns the investment. How much am I paying the CEO? What's this software going to do? When am I going to get a return? You're not going to invest in a house without understanding the return rate. Same thing. You own this business. It's an asset. You're thinking about the decisions you're making to go, when am I going to get a return on this? I'm going to buy a setter. I'm going to work with a new company to get me new leads. What's my return on this? And when do I get my return? Is that 12-month return, 6-month return, 18-month return in profit? Okay? You have 2 hats. Think differently about them sometimes. Majority of your personal expenses should not be in the business. I know you guys are going to freak out. Hold on before you throw me over the edge. It's risky. It really is. And it's really not worth the effort, okay? If you're going to, okay, know what they are clearly. Know what clearly is being run through the business, like highlight them, know that every day or every month, because your personal expenses shouldn't be run through the business. Yes, it saves you 30% here and there, and I get it. I did the same thing, and I'm not telling you to stop it, but know what it is, because you need to understand the business model that you're creating to move forward in the future. If you're like, I have $5,000 in profit, and so I can't hire this person. It's like, well, you actually might have $9,000 in profit. You're just running $4,000 of your life through this business. It's not what it's meant to be. But I get the strategy, but this is something I stopped doing. Except my internet, okay? My internet still runs through it. You need a system for managing expenses, okay? Hotels have a base framework agreement that they all adhere to, okay? And we don't have that as agencies. So if you go and you work at a hotel and you're a bookkeeper or accounting person, you have this standard, I forget what it's called. It's like something financial lodging, blah, blah, blah. And it's a standard of how everyone, what's the cost of goods sold, what's this, and how everyone does that. Guess what we have in the digital agency space? Nothing. It's a free world. It's amazing. But it's also your biggest detriment because you can just kind of do whatever you want. General Motors dealerships, okay? They have a standard accounting manual handbook, 675 pages long. God, it's so boring. I did not read it, please. I didn't read it. But in there, it tells you if you have a dealership doing this, this is how you do cost of goods sold, this is how you do profit, this is how you do distributions, this is what an expense is here, this is what this is. Here's a story and an example here. They like do that. But we don't have that in the digital agency space. So we need to kind of create some system on how we do our finances so we know what's happening. All right, you ready to go on what got implemented? Are you with me? Okay, I can talk louder. What got implemented? We did a full P&L, full revamp of what was in our P&L. We see the things that have been posted of like, okay, well, 40% labor, 30% profit, and there was the bulk, and that's exactly what I did. It was bulk. Guess what you can't do? Make decisions on bulk information like that. So we had to do a full P&L revamp to get to insightful data, the cost of goods identified. Then we broke it down. Software, we broke that down by department, and we analyzed everything. What's the purpose? How are we leveraging this? I like saying, for me personally, I like asking leverage over purpose. Purpose, like what's the purpose? Oh, there's always a purpose. How are you leveraging it? Like why are we spending this and how are we going to leverage this? Okay? And why is that valuable? If you have one, you fight your bookkeeper. That should be a financial wisdom and what we did. We had to fight our bookkeeper. Bookkeepers are there to bookkeep. They are not your CEO. Okay? They are not making financial decisions for your business. They will try to do it what they want to do. You have to fight them. Fight against them. They're going to want to put, travel in the business development section. Well, if that travel was for a marketing conference, it's freaking marketing because you need to understand your ROI on marketing. Put it in freaking marketing. Well, we really like to put it in business development. I don't care. You're not running my business. Okay? I'm telling you, I literally have to fight every month on what is put in and where. Now we have a little bit of a system that he adheres to, okay? They bookkeep, they don't make financial decisions. You know your business and what you need to make decisions. Travel under business. Dev versus marketing. Oh, business, I already talked about that. I'm so good. I started tracking because this was important for me. Again, don't copy and paste. Take the wisdom, figure out what you need. Please don't copy and paste. Uncollectible, credits, and delinquent. I wanted to track the lost money we have on that because moving business owners are so good at not paying their bill, so we need to track delinquent. How many times are we giving money away because we screwed up? I need to track that. How many times are we being like, all right, well, that invoice got done. We're not going to collect that invoice, so we'll mark it uncollectible. We are just marking uncollectible everywhere. How much is it building? What does that look like? I need to know how much money I'm losing at the end of this year because we uncollectibled it. So that got implemented. We implemented a formulaic decision on when and how I take distributions because it was emotional. It was a fugazi. It was a fugazi. And so we just put together something like, hey, I take 80% of the profit, 20% stays in the business. If you're like, that's way too much, change it. It was just a formula to just go, this is what I'm going to do every single month. Credit card management. In my opinion, this becomes so key, especially as you have employees. There's this thing called Pay with Extend. Okay? They only work with Amex, but it is absolutely beautiful to manage your expenses and your COGS. Helps with budgets. I don't like the word budget because budget gives you permission to spend. Helps with tracking costs of goods sold. Only works with Amex. Blocks charges. You can give a card for just one software. You can give a card for an entire department or for one person. Let me show you how it works in the business. You're going to love this. At least I love this. Maybe you don't love it, but I love it. All right, ready? Okay, a legit online marketplace purchase. Okay, who the crap did that? Ah, Roddy Voyer did. What's it for? It's for a service purchase. What is it? PBN. Who's it for? Bust and Moves, $41. I know every single purchase, what client it's for, why are we purchasing it, so I know exactly my cost of goods sold. Bright Local. Bright Local just got purchased by who? Ferris. Ah, okay, Ferris. What was it for? Oh, it was a service purchase. Bright Local over at Junk Removal. They got to put that in for every expense they buy. Did I do that beforehand? No, I didn't. I trusted you guys. No, I trust you. You're an employee. I hired you. Here's a credit card. No, see, do what you need to do. They were spending, and they really were doing a good job. They were not taking advantage of it. But I didn't know what was being spent and why and how and where. Okay, very important. Really love Pay with Extend. Great system when you get to the time that you need it. Core financial data to help me make better decisions today. I say today because, again, data needs to be data that you track for a decision and for a reason, and you can get caught up in tracking decisions or tracking data, and it gets useless. We started tracking customer acquisition costs. That was important for us today in our business today. We started tracking customer acquisition costs, return on investment. All sales, labor, costs, software, everything, marketing, sales, labor, costs, every tiny dime goes into it, and then how much am I getting in return on the new sales? I need to know, as a owner hat coming on, if I was the owner talking to the CEO, I go, what are you spending on marketing and sales for acquisition, and what are you making me in a return on investment? That's owner conversation. CEO conversations over here like, I don't know, but we should track it. I'll track it now, Now I get to be like, hey, other Travis, okay, here's what we're doing. Marketing spend here, this is here, we're getting you a return. Looks like it's a 3-month return on your investment. Great job, okay? All right. Retention tracking. This was fun, long, hard. We did this last month, but we did retention tracking. Web development, hard and labor costs. What are the hard costs on web development? Okay, what's the labor cost? So am I selling a website for $3,000? How much money am I making from that? Okay, again, may not be important for you right now. I did 3.5 years, 4 years without even thinking about it. Okay, I did what I needed to do to grow the business. Now I need to freaking know the hard costs and labor costs. Conference ROI. I want to know how much we're spending on conferences and what my return is on these conferences. If not, I'm just going to conferences for no freaking good reason. Client churn sheet. we started tracking clients who left us. So I know, hey, how much did we lose 3 months ago? How much MRR did we lose? Client master sheet. This saved my butt on the retention tracking. I would say if this is something you don't do, might be a good, if you're like consistently adding one client a month, just go get a master sheet, name of the client, Stripe, what they started, what day did they start with you, what day eventually did they end with you, and then what's the recurring revenue they're spending with you. Really helps you in the future. That was really helpful. Profit forecasting sheet. I spent so much time on it. I spent a lot of time on it. You'll see and you'll be like, I don't know if you spent that much time. I spent a lot of time because I had to figure out how to do it right and simple and get me the data that I need. So I spent 40 hours plus on it, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it feels like a lot. And this was just to name a few. But these are some of the things that got implemented.